Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Oh, no. On me. Okay, good morning. Board to reconvene. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Peters.
Present. Here.
Supervisor Scribner.
Here.
Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez. Here.
Okay, we'll begin today's meeting with the flag salute led by Supervisor Philip Peters. Would you do us the honor? Thank you.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Please be seated. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call on Nick Cullen, our Director of Animal Services Department, to introduce our Pet of the Week.
Morning. Nick, who do we have with us?
Good morning, Chairman Flores and members of the board. I brought with me Kitty. Yes, Kitty. Kitty the dog. Kitty is about a 9-week-old Chihuahua. She was actually born in the shelter, and she's available for adoption at the Kern County Animal Shelter tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
They can't hear you. They can't hear you. Can we do it again?
Sure. I brought with me Kitty. Kitty's about a 9-week-old Chihuahua. She was born in the shelter, and she's available for adoption at the Kern County Animal Shelter tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. She's a sweet girl.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Kitty. That would make a good good Christmas gift, good stocking stuffer. Okay. This time we'll hear from County Counsel Margaret Raison for a report on actions taken in closed session from Monday, December 18th at 9 a.m.
Good morning, Board. Yesterday you met in closed session on item number 1, and there is no reportable action.
Thank you, Ms. Raison. Okay, at this time we'll consider the consent agenda. All items listed with the CA above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion. If a member of the audience wishes to comment or ask questions regarding an item on the consent agenda, they may do so prior to a vote being taken. A member of the board may remove any item from the consent agenda, and it will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the board concerning the item before action is taken. A member of the public may also comment on any closed session item. At this time, I'll read the consent agenda numbers. Okay, starting on page 2, items 2, 3, 6, and 7. Page 3, items 8 and 10 through 15. Page 4, items 16 through 21. Page 5, items 22 through 29. And on page 6, items 30 through 37. Is there any member of the public that would like to comment on any of the consent agenda items? Now is the time. Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to our board for action.
I'll make a motion on the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, that brings us to item number 1 under resolutions and proclamations. This is a resolution honoring Shelley Salazar, Department of Human Services, upon her retirement with 32 years of dedicated service to the County of Kern, and Supervisor Zach Scribner will be making the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion on proclamation.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Here. All right. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. It's always a pleasure to get to celebrate the career of one of our retiring county employees, particularly when someone has dedicated so much of their life to the service of others in our county. Shelley Salazar began her Kern County career at the Sheriff's Office on February 26, 1991 as a typist clerk 2, and later transferred to Juvenile Hall on June 15, 1992, where she handled juvenile medical intakes. Ms. Salazar quickly promoted to the position of Family Support Clerk with Child Support Services in November of 1993, where she was assigned to the lobby to assist the public, a job she truly enjoyed. In April of 2000, Ms. Salazar relocated to the District Attorney's Forensic Division, where she worked as an evidence intake officer and phlebotomist. Ms. Salazar returned to Child Support Services in November of 2001 and promoted to Office Services Technician on May 24, 2008. She later transferred to Human Services in October of 2011 and was assigned to the Registrar Opening Unit, where she was responsible for logging and filing cases from all areas of the department and verifying information for accuracy. On March 17, 2018, Ms. Salazar promoted to Office Services Specialist in the Ombudsman Office, where she handled high-volume calls from the public, in which she excelled in helping people in need. Ms. Salazar worked in various programs during her employment with Human Services, including Fiscal, the Ombudsman's Office, Protection Against Citable Errors Unit, Registrar, and the Imaging Unit. And Ms. Salazar was known as a kind, patient, and helpful employee who was always eager to lend a helping hand, and she was a pleasure to work with, and her positive attitude, enthusiasm, and infectious laughter were contagious. Ms. Salazar's dedication to Human Services has earned her the respect and admiration of both peers and colleagues, and her many contributions will be greatly missed, and she is wished the best in her future endeavors. Now, therefore, it is resolved that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Kern, State of California, does hereby honor and commend Shelley Salazar upon her retirement with 32 years of dedicated service to Kern County, and this is adopted on today's date, December 19th, 2023. And I have Lito Murillo with us, our Director of the Department of Human Services, to say a few brief words, and he is going to introduce, I believe, her direct supervisor to make some comments as well. And so I will be back to present this to you in just a few minutes. Thank you. Lito?
Thank you, Supervisor Scribner. I appreciate the opportunity. I just wanted to congratulate Shelley for the 32 years of outstanding service. The 2 years I've gotten to know her, she has just been outstanding to work with, has a really amazing personality that's so infectious around the whole department, and I'm going to miss her truly. I'm going to turn it over to Vanessa Frando, who's her Assistant Director. So, Vanessa.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Vanessa Frando. I'm Assistant Director at Human Services. Today, I have the pleasure of recognizing Shelley Salazar on her 32 years of service. Shelley has provided exceptional support throughout various county departments with her longest years of service at Human Services. There is a consensus around the department that Shelley is known as very friendly, helpful, and genuine. She's friendly to everyone she encounters and has earned the nickname of Sunshine from the Finance Director for the joy she brings to the office and for her efforts as a morale officer. I think there's even been a poem written about her being Sunshine. She's also very helpful. She makes sure that we're all taken care of. Throughout the years, she has helped to update the status of legislation, coordinating hearings, publishing policy updates, taking calls from constituents in crisis, and ensuring employees have the support they need, from anything from timesheets to making sure we all have the technology equipment that we need to hit the ground running. And finally, Shelley is described as being genuine. She has always supported the goals of our agency and realizes how much we are needed in the community. Shelley will often ask colleagues, "How's your family?" And as such, Shelley has become a part of ours. Congratulations, Shelley, from all the Human Services colleagues. We will miss you and thank you for your years of service.
Well, now, Shelley, it's my pleasure to present you with this resolution, and we, on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, your department, and your entire county family, congratulations and enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for giving me the opportunity back in 1991, trusted me to hire me. I made this my career. I've enjoyed every bit of it. I've made so many friends. This is what makes it so hard to retire, but I know it's time to start a new chapter in my life. And I just want to thank you all again for being here. I know you're not here for me, but I thank you for being here and listening. God bless you all. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Big shout out
Ms.
to
Salazar.
Shelley.
Thank you, congratulations. Okay, I'm going to use chairman's discretion and go out of order and move to board member announcements and reports and then go back to public presentations. I understand Supervisor Perez, you have a presentation to make?
That's correct. Chair, thank you so much.
Sure.
I really appreciate it. I would ask at this time my dear friend and veteran extraordinaire, Randy Dicko, to make his way to the podium, please. I'm going to try very hard not to be emotional, but I'm not going to make any promises. Okay? Colleagues, today is very special. It's an opportunity to recognize one of Kern County's finest residents. Kern County is Randy Dicko is one extraordinary human being. From racing hill climb motorcycles in the early 60s to piloting hot air balloons, sailboat racing, and playing some very amateur tennis. Randy Dicko is a man of many trades. He has served as administrator and adjunct professor of sociology at Bakersfield College, and more recently as a criminal defense attorney, which he still does to this day. However, the job he should be given the most recognition for is his service to the United States Air Force from 1965 to 1971. According to Randy, there were many highlights, some lowlights, but the best times were working with and for his veteran brothers and sisters. Mr. Dicko is well known as being the chief fundraiser for the Vernon Valenzuela Memorial Highway signs and the main squeaky wheel pushing the legislature to pass the resolution renaming a section of Golden State Highway after Vernon. 10 years now, Randy.
I bugged you a lot.
Yes, you did. Effectively. He has served as chair of the committee creating the Wall of Heroes, memorializing Kern County's 2 Medal of Honor recipients in the Superior Court building, and was past chair, secretary, and current steering committee member of the Kern County Veterans Collaborative. Of course, we all know that the project most dear to Randy's heart was the co-founding of the Veterans Justice Program in Kern County in 2011. After retiring in 2014, then again in 2018, and again in 2019, he came out of retirement once again to practice law solely to continue representing veterans, and we will not allow him to retire again. Since its founding, over 800 veterans, 800, have been served through the program. Randy has now personally represented over 120 veterans pro bono and continues to do so now both as a private attorney and through the Kern County Public Defender's Office, where he also assists other attorneys helping our veterans. He has conducted many training sessions during these years for attorneys, probation officers, court clerks, and judges on the statutory provisions of applicable law. Randy Dicko, because of you, Kern County has been made a better place for our veteran community. And it is my deep honor to award you this certificate of recognition from the entire Board of Supervisors for being awarded the Veteran of the Year and for your unparalleled devotion to our nation and our servicemen and women. God bless you, Randy Dicko. Colleagues, I still remember the first time I saw Randy Dicko. I was a public defender over 15 years ago. And he was there running around, fighting the system, representing his comrades who had found themselves in unfortunate places, none of which ever discouraged Randy, none of which ever distracted Randy from the goal of simply representing with full heart and fervor his brothers and sisters in arms. I remember, Randy, watching you with Vernon Valenzuela, and you guys were unorthodox, and you were troublemakers in that courthouse. You were undeniable. You could not be calmed in your representation of your brothers and sisters. And I watched you, I watched Vernon, almost 20 years ago now, serve with love, with fortitude, and with the deepest devotion the veterans in this community through our court system. And there is simply nobody like you, Randy. I've never seen anything like it. I have never watched a servant convey with such love and sacrifice, true devotion to their brothers and sisters. So it is a great honor and privilege today to present to you in recognition of being honored as the 2023 Veteran of the Year by the Armed Forces Support Foundation of Kern County, and for your service to our nation and for exemplary public service and civic contributions to the community, beautiful community of Kern County. Dated December 19th, 2023, signed by our Honorable Chairman and all of our supervisors. It is with great humility that I present this to you. Thank you for your lifelong service to this country and to our brothers and sisters in arms. And I say thank you for your personal friendship, Randy. It is truly priceless. Thank you.
Wow. I don't think I deserve all that. Just briefly, I know you have a long agenda. I'll start by paraphrasing my favorite pop psychologist, Jimmy Buffett, may he rest in peace. But the life of a veteran takes a wandering course. And some things in that bio, yes, my tennis, I wouldn't even call my career a tennis career. I did win the county once, though, in doubles, a long time. But as a professional umpire doing the U.S. Open and other professional matches around the country was a different story. But I enjoyed most probably doing the Kern County Championships, of which Supervisor Couch consistently won throughout those years that I was doing that. And it was a joy to do his matches, unlike McEnroe or some others. I had no problem with Jimmy Connors or Ilya Nastasi, but McEnroe was a whatever. Special, yes, very special. Let me just say, as far as the Veterans Justice Program, because that's my baby, that's what I've been doing, it's what I started doing. We're in our 13th year. I started doing it obviously before that, but that's when we got the program started. And I've been here before. You celebrated our 10th anniversary. We're now starting our 13th year. I came back because there were some issues. So my third or fourth retirement, I don't know which retirement it was. I've given them 2 years. And I have my obit, I think, already done. Thank you. Jeez. But while I may be the face of the program, it's the veterans that make it, because there has been no failures in all this time. Over 800 served, knock on wood. Anybody who's gone through the program has gone through and become a successful member of our society. Some you've heard before.
God bless you, Randy.
I believe one of the times we were here, you heard one of our vets who's now very close to receiving his own LCSW. He's got his MSW, and he was facing several felonies 10, 12 years ago. And there are more like him. So it's the veterans that make the program, and the counselors, of course, and other staff that assist along the way. I'm proud to be part of the Public Defender's Office now, which is interesting after almost 30 years as an attorney. But I'm PRN, that's medical for as required. Training some of these young attorneys. Hopefully I'll find one that can take over the program, being the liaison to the VA like I have been. But, so let me return then to Jimmy Buffett and just say, obviously he's one of my, not a hero, but somebody I follow. Some of it's magic, some of it's been tragic, but I've had a great life all the way. Thank you very much for this honor.
Thank you, sir.
Randy, if I could get a picture with you, I forgot to mention that I wore my Wounded Warrior shirt today in honor of Wounded Heroes, in honor of you and your service and in gratitude. Randy, let me hold this up so we can show here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Supervisor Perez, and many thanks, Mr. Dicko, and congratulations, sir. Thank you for everything. Okay, so we're still under member announcements or reports. If any of the members have anything, this is the time. Okay, seeing none.
Jeff, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Okay, so we will go back now to public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on the agenda but under the jurisdiction of the board. Board members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff for factual information, or request staff to report back to the board at a later meeting. Also, the board may take action to direct staff to place a matter of business on a future agenda. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state and spell your name before making your presentation. Thank you. Okay, please come forward. Next speaker.
Good morning. My name is John Harding, Harding, and I'm here with a group of concerned citizens who's going to give a presentation on a report by Judicial Watch. Dear board members, it has been reported by Judicial Watch that Kern County has not provided proof that it has fully purged the voter rolls of voters who have died or have changed their residence address. This violates the National Voter Registration Act of 1993 and must be accomplished before the next election. Will the board guarantee this purging will be done before the next election? We are providing copies of the charges for each board member and will read part of the letter for the public record. Also, have you contacted Sacramento for the 4 items they have that your Kern election department needs? They are the passwords, the software source codes, cabinet keys, access support for the election department to verify our own voting systems, totals, and Kern County needs these to keep their required chain of custody of ballots. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, board. My name is Charles Shin. I'm a retired Marine, SHINN. From Judicial Watch, dated October 30, 2023, sent by email and certified mail to the Honorable Shirley N. Weber, Secretary of State. Reference, notice of violation of the National Voter Registration Act of 1993, passed by the 103rd Congress, signed into law by President Bill Clinton. Dear Secretary Weber, I write on behalf of Judicial Watch, Incorporated, and the Libertarian Party of California to notify you that your office is currently in violation of Section 8 of the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. We write to you as the chief state election official responsible for coordinating California's compliance with Section 8 of the NVRA. This letter serves as a pre-suit notice to 52 U.S.C. subsection 20510B1 and 2 that Judicial Watch and the LPCA will file a lawsuit against you if these violations are not corrected within 90 days. That deadline would be around the 28th of January. Background, as you are no doubt aware, The NVRA was intended to both, one, increase the number of eligible citizens who register, two, to protect the integrity of the electoral process, and three, that accurate and current voter registration rolls are maintained. The goal of ensuring election integrity was embodied in Section 8, which requires each state to, one, conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to remove the names of ineligible voters from the official lists of eligible voters by reason of, one, death of the registrant, and two, a change in the residence of the registrant.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Shin. Next speaker, please.
I'm going to continue the letter from Judicial Watch. My name is Bill Fallgetter. The registration of a voter who may have moved may only be canceled in one of two ways. First, it is canceled if the registrant confirms a change of address in writing. Second, if the registrant is sent a postage prepaid, pre-address, forwardable notice requesting address confirmation, if he fails to respond to it and then fails to vote in the next two general federal elections, that registration must be canceled. Registrants who have failed to respond to the confirmation notice, whose registrations will be canceled after the statutory waiting period, are said to be inactive. However, inactive registrations may still be voted on Election Day. The NVRA, the National Voters Registration Act, contains a public records provision. Section 8.1 requires that each state shall maintain for at least 2 years and shall make available for public inspection all records concerning the implementation of programs and activities conducted for the purpose of ensuring the accuracy and currency of official list of eligible voters. That provision goes on to specifically provide that the records maintained shall include lists of names and addresses of all persons to whom address confirmation notices are sent, and information concerning whether or not each such person has responded to the notice. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
I'm going to carry on with reading. Name's Jess Sanders, S-A-N-D-E-R-S. Federal law requires the Election Assistance Commission, EAC, to submit and support Congress every second year assessing the impact of the NVRA on the administration of federal elections during the preceding of 2 years. Federal regulations require you to provide data to the EAC for the use of this report. EAC posted the most recent survey it sent to the states to elicit their responses from the biennial report. On June 29, 2023, the EAC published the data it received from the states, including your state, in response to the survey. The reporting period of November 2020 through November 2022. Here are the facts showing violations of the list of maintenance provisions and of the NVRA. According to your state's responses to the EAC survey, 27 California counties reported removing 5 or fewer, and in most cases, a 0 in those counties. Voter registration from the list of eligible voters during this period from November 2020 through November 2022 for failing to respond to the confirmation notice and failing to vote into consecutive general federal elections. Another 19 counties, including ours, simply did not report any data whatsoever to the EAC regarding the removals under Section 8D1B. Instead, in the relevant column where the data should have been in the survey, responses for each of these counties merely stated data not available. I think we can do better as a county than data not available. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. Next speaker, please.
Andy Hensel, HEN-SEL. On August 4th, 2023, Judicial Watch wrote to you pointing out these facts and asking you to confirm the data contained in the EAC's report and to provide data that was omitted. We also asked for certain public records pursuant to Section 8I. On August 29th, 2023, your office responded by means of an email from the Secretary of State Constituent Affairs, which treated our factual inquiries about the aforementioned county data as requests for public records and stated that, quote, "We have no records responsive to your requests." However, our inquiries were not requests for public record, but requests for information, which your response failed to provide. Both Common Sense and Judicial Watch's enforcement experiences confirm that there is no possible way California has complied with the key NVRA provisions dealing with voters who have changed residence, especially when 46 of its 57 counties either removed no registrations or just a few registrations under that provision, or like our very own Kern County, failed to report any removals at all for the past 2 reporting years. Nor is it possible, given these facts, that California is complying with its list maintenance obligations to conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to remove names of voters who have moved or died.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Russell Person, P-E-R-S-O-N. California's noncompliance with the NVRA is further indicated by the unusually high registration rates observed in its counties. Comparing the data our state reported to the EAC regarding the total registration numbers for each county to the U.S. Census Bureau's most recent 5-year estimates of the numbers of the resident citizens over the age of 18 suggests that 21 California counties have much more voter registrations than citizens of voting age. Several federal courts have determined that such high registration rates are sufficient grounds for alleging a failure to comply with the NVRA's mandate to make reasonable efforts to remove voters by reason of death or change of address. Consistent with the foregoing facts, our own data shows that California's counties have unusually high inactive registration rates. For example, data that our state supplied to the EAC shows that in 12 California counties, inactive registrations constitute more than 20% of all registrations, and in one county, more than 27% of all registrations. Kern County's inactive rate is 17%. By contrast, the national inactive rate is 11.1%. High inactive rates are also sufficient grounds for alleging noncompliance with the NVRA. The foregoing facts amply demonstrate that California nor Kern County is not complying with the list maintenance provisions of the NVRA.
Thank you, Mr. Person. Next speaker, please.
Thank you for your service.
Honored to serve you, sir. Good morning. My name is Ralph Robles, R-O-B-L-E-S, and I am a veteran. These are the facts showing violations of the public records provisions of the NVRA. Judicial Watch's filed request as follows. August 4th, 2023 letter requested pursuant to Section 8I of the NVRA, 7 categories of public records concerning California's programs, activities to ensure accuracy and currency of its voter list. The second request and response we received from you on August 29, 23, were 2A, a list of names and addresses of all persons to whom notices described in 52 U.S.C. subsection 20507D2 were sent, and information concerning whether or not each person responded to the notice. Secretary of State's response was, "We have no records responsive to your request." This request seeks a category of documents that the NVRA specifically requires states to provide on request. Accordingly, your response effectively concedes a violation of the public records provision of the NVRA. The third request and your response are as follows. 3, communications concerning the EAC's 2022 Election Administration and Voting Survey, including but not limited to the responses to Section A of that survey and any records provided along with these responses. The Secretary of State's response, "We will provide all non-privileged and non-exempt records relating to this request. However, these records are currently still under legal review."
Thank you, Mr. Robles. Before we continue, I think our CEO has punched in. Did you punch in, Mr. Zervis?
I did, Chairman Flores. Just for sake of clarification, we do have a copy of the letter that these gentlemen are reading into the record. And for the sake of your board, just to understand that this is a letter from Judicial Watch to the Secretary of State of California, not to the County of Kern. So all of the requests for information, public records that may not have been responded to, or other allegations of violations by Judicial Watch are not against the County of Kern, but in fact against the Secretary of State of California. So just a point of clarification.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Zervis, for that clarification. Okay, next speaker, please.
Yeah, it does. Good morning. I'm Ron Barger, B-A-R-G-E-R. Until responsive documents have been provided, this request has not been complied with. The 6 requests of your response are: all records concerning any internal or external audit, evaluation, assessment, review, analysis, critique, or request for or response to any of the foregoing relating to the accuracy and currency of official lists of eligible voters. Your response: this request is not specific enough to perform a search to identify any specific record or records that might be responsive. Quote, not a reasonable and focused request per Rogers versus Superior Court, 1993, 19 Cal. App 4th, 469, 481. This request restricts its reach both to a particular kind of evaluation and to a particular kind of topic for such an evaluation, and is specific enough to allow a proper search. Your failure to conduct a search or provide documents violates the public records provision of the NVRA. If you do not contact us about correcting or otherwise resolving the above identified violations within 90 days, Judicial Watch and the LPCA will commence a federal lawsuit seeking declaratory and injunctive relief against you. If such a lawsuit, we would seek, in addition to injunctive relief, a judgment awarding reasonable attorney fees, expenses, and costs. See 52 U.S.C. 20510C. For the reasons set forth above, we believe that such a lawsuit would be likely to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Dennis McLean, M-C-L-E-A-N. We have long experience with list maintenance litigation and are well aware of practical difficulties jurisdictions have in facing to maintain their voter rolls. As we believe we showed during our previous litigation involving your office and LA County, we are absolutely willing to compromise and work together to come up with a realistic plan to address these difficulties. We are also glad to avoid costly litigation to resolve these disputes. California survey responses show that 27 counties reported removing 5 or fewer, and most counties 0. voter registrations in the last 2 years, failing to respond to an address confirmation notice, and failing to vote in 2 consecutive general federal elections. Another 19 counties simply did not report any data of such removals. 21 California counties have more voter registrations than citizens over the age of 18. In all, 46 counties reported removing only a handful or no registrations under the NVRA's change of address rule, or else failed to report any data at all. These 46 counties contain more than 14 million registered voters. In closing, I ask Amy Espinoza why there were no recent funds dedicated to improve this deficiency in her department. And why is this county paying her not to do an elected job? Your board will soon be served with a lawsuit from Judicial Watch. I hope this will get your attention of the voter fraud in our county.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Next speaker, please.
And it is Kern County, too.
Next speaker, please.
Mr. Chairman, before we hear from the next speaker, who I think is with our, United Domestic Workers, to probably talk on a different subject. I think they're here to likely talk on contract negotiations. I want to ask a question of staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm thinking back to the meeting where Ms. Espinoza, our auditor controller and registrar of voters, was here giving an extensive presentation regarding improvements in security, improvements and the replacement of the purchasing of new equipment that were going to help to expedite vote counting. And although I do appreciate all these fine citizens being here to talk about the elections office, they were noticeably absent at that particular item on the Board of Supervisors. And so in light of the fact that we seem to continue to have folks that come in that want to talk about elections, could we from the CAO's office make a request to Ms. Espinoza to be present here at our morning meetings so she would be able to respond appropriately to certain questions about the elections office, seeing as our board's role is to approve the budget for our office, and we approved over $2 million in order to make those improvements in security and vote counting, expediency, et cetera. But I think her being here to help to answer at least the questions that she can at the time, and to come back at a later meeting and report back on questions that would require a little bit of research, I think would be helpful for us and for the public. Mr. Zervis, can you respond to that, please?
Yes, Supervisor Scribner, through the chair, I'd be happy to reach out to Ms. Espinoza and let her know of that request and work with her to be here and be able to respond to those questions. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.
May I also respond?
Supervisor Couch is going to respond next. Supervisor Couch.
I was going to ask that we refer this letter to County Council. If the county has any involvement in this letter, I recognize it's addressed to the Secretary of State of California. I'd like to, and I don't know the appropriate place to have that discussion, if it's here or if it's in closed session. One of the speakers just said we were going to be sued by sued by Judicial Watch. Is that adequate to have a closed session discussion about a potential lawsuit? Sounded potential to me.
Supervisor Couch, through the chair, I believe you're correct. That sounded very much like a direct threat of litigation.
Okay. So I'm going to refer this letter and the whole issue that is discussed in the letter, or the many issues discussed in the letter, to your office. Thank you.
May I also respond?
Thank you. Well, right now, we're going to the next speaker under public comment, if there's a next speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Good point.
Hi, good morning. My name is Precious Henley. I live here in Bakersfield, and I am a part of the bargaining team, and I've been a dedicated in-home supportive service provider in one way or another for over 20 years. I would like to dedicate the remainder of my speaking time to the next speaker.
Well, we don't transfer time, but she can have her own time. if
You
wanna
don't
come up.
transfer time?
No, but she can have her own time. Yeah, we'll give her full 2 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Yesenia de Casaus, a union representative with the United Domestic Workers. I have been involved with negotiations between our union and Kern County for the last 10 years. Most of you on the board here today have served in some capacity while the county has negotiated with us for all those years. Yet, based on your responses to our proposal and reaction to our public comments, you all don't seem to understand the IHSS program the way you should. I am here today so the board and the public understands a few important points. First, the county of Kern absolutely has the responsibility and obligation to manage the IHSS program. That includes negotiating with the workers to determine wages that are adequate and ensure the delivery of services. A couple of weeks ago, one of your administrators made a comment that we're not county workers. Let me make it clear. We are a group of workers for which you are responsible for, whether you like it or not, under the law. The California Welfare and Institutions Code says that you are the employer of record for all these workers here today. Next, our proposal has always been very reasonable. We know that our work is worth way more, but we have never asked for more than what the state and federal governments will pay into this program. That limits us to only bargain for a couple dollars of a minimum wage. One would expect that you would do at least the bare minimum for this program, and that is to maximize the amount of the state's willing to pay. Instead, time after time and year after year, you continue to offer us a fraction of the bare minimum, a wage increase that only amounts to pennies above the minimum wage with no other benefits whatsoever. Let's be real. We should be asking for what we're worth. However, we continue to bargain in good faith and present you with proposals like our most recent one, which qualifies for full state participation and reimbursement. What are you waiting for to do the right thing? It's time that Kern County has a better in-home support services program. It's on you now, today, when you go into closed session, to make better decisions on behalf of Kern County.
Thank you, ma'am. Just as a reminder, please refrain from applause so we can get through public comment. Next speaker, please.
Yes, good morning, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Julie Rocha, R-O-C-H-A. I've been a caregiver for a little over 5 years now to my 23-year-old daughter, who now lives with a traumatic brain injury. And this did occur after her vehicle, 1 month after her high school graduation, was rear-ended by a drunk driver. Taking this job as an IHSS provider means that I am giving up my opportunity of a higher paying job and better benefits. But without me stepping up, people like my daughter may not have someone to give them the proper care and support that they need to live in the freedom and comfort of their own home. This is the story for hundreds and hundreds of people living in our communities, especially for those of us that are living outside of Bakersfield, where there's less resources and less services. Your constituents in the outer cities, they're struggling to find IHSS providers. And that's because you all are refusing to give those providers a dignified contract. Without IHSS providers, you're depriving our communities, seniors, and our people with disabilities of the freedom that they have to fulfill their lives in their own community. And according to the state's IHSS audit, there are over 900 IHSS recipients that are not receiving the life-saving care that they qualify for in our county. And that's all because our county, you all, continue to leave all of your constituents from the outer cities behind, leaving people like my daughter to fend for themselves and wait months upon months to find anyone who will support them. Offering IHSS provider pennies for the work that they do is not acceptable.
Thank you, Ms. Rocha.
It creates bigger holes in an already broken system, a system that's broken in part because of Kern County.
Okay. Yeah, and just
Time for change.
thank you. Just as a point of order, I'd like to make a reminder for the whole chamber to please turn off and silence your cell phones. Please, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Sydney O'Connor, SYDNEYO''C''ONNOR, and I am an IHSS provider from Tehachapi. I care for my partner who is a blind renal patient. I've been doing this for almost 10 years now, and I am here today because although I'm not surprised by your dismissal at the bargaining table last week, I cannot stand by as you continue to insult our work. I know what you're all thinking. If you want a better wage, get a better job. For a lot of us, that's not an option, and the message that sends is that you acknowledge that the work that we do needs to be done. However, you think whomever does this work deserves to live in poverty. We are not being unreasonable. It is not true. Is it not true that of any job, that 7 years without a wage increase is simply unacceptable? You yourselves approved wage increases for county employees and yourselves just earlier this year. Meanwhile, many of us are left without access to even dental or vision insurance and having to apply for food stamps and other help, all because you chose to be prideful and refused to give us respectable wages that our work deserves. It is time we start bridging the huge gap in pay you have allowed happen over the last 7 years for IHSS providers. A fair, respectable contract would not only change the lives of IHSS providers in our county, but potentially attract more IHSS workers to this field and help some of the 900 people who go without proper care each month in our county. And it is just about time that Kern County's Board of Supervisors stops. I have a bit of extra time. I want to mention that I make $15.50 an hour, and that tomorrow I go and donate plasma tomorrow to help pay my bills. How dystopian is that I have to sell my body parts in order to get by? Food for thought, thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. O'Connor. Next speaker, please. Please come forward.
Good morning. My name is Norma Beltran, Beltran. I'm a IHSS provider. I'm also a member of UDW. I'm here because my client's been bedbound due to an accident. He wound up in a coma. He's nonverbal. He's totally bedbound. We have to get him up, sit him, and it takes several of us. It's my mother, my brother, and I to care for him. Just one of us get paid. And I have my other client that it's almost gonna be 2 years. My brother's 30 years already. And not too long ago, he was in the hospital, almost for 2 months, trying to survive. He was on a ventilator. I stayed with him 30 days in ICU. And we don't get paid for standby hours, but at least we wanna get paid well for the hours that we do get paid for. We're dedicated, we're devoted to them. We do work as a nurse does. We give them medication through orally, G-tube, injections, you name it. We do suctioning, we do breathing treatments. Some of us do dialysis at home. I take my clients to dialysis at DeVita, and we don't get paid for standby. We still stay there with them because we do suctioning for them at the dialysis place. And we deserve a well-paid because we are dedicated and we're committed. We need dollars, we don't need cents. And we also need to get complete coverage for medical. So we're very dedicated. If we were to let go of our clients, it would be a lot more to get them to a nurse facility. It's gonna cost a lot more to pay for them. A nurse gets 40 plus, we just want reasonable payment. What we deserve, we're dedicated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Beltran. Next speaker, please. Please come forward.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Fabiola Velasco y soy proveedora del IHSS en la ciudad de Bakersfield. Desde que el papá de mis hijos le dio un derrame cerebral. Yo me puse al cuidado de él desde hace 1 año, 4 meses. Hoy estoy aquí porque lo que ustedes ofrecen en salario mínimo no nos es suficiente. Yo paré de trabajar para dedicar mi vida a él completamente. Estoy al cuidado de él 24 horas al día. Le cambio pañal, le preparo alimentos, lo llevo a citas, terapias y comida especial. Gracias a mi cuidado, él ha mejorado mucho y lo mejor de todo, que los doctores me lo hacen reconocer. Muchos de nosotros los que estamos aquí y en casa vivimos un estrés constante porque ustedes lo que nos están pagando no es nada para nuestro esfuerzo. Créanme que mi vida totalmente nos cambió en casa, a mis hijos, a mí. Vivimos un estrés constantemente porque el dinero no ajusta. Tengo hijos estudiando y no me ajusta mi casa. Tenemos que aprender a vivir con el salario que ustedes nos están ofreciendo. Necesitamos un pago digno porque lo que hacemos día a día es mucho el esfuerzo. Yo no pedí vivir esto que estoy viviendo, pero nos tocó vivirlo a mis hijos y a mí. Y yo quiero hoy levantar la voz por todos los que estamos aquí, están en casa, para que seamos escuchados y ustedes valoren nuestros trabajos, porque es lo que nosotros merecemos, que valoren nuestros trabajos, nuestro esfuerzo, porque créanme, con el corazón en la mano se lo digo, no es fácil. Gracias.
I will go ahead and translate. Good morning. My name is Fabiola Velasquez. I'm an IHSS provider in the city of Bakersfield. When my children's father had a stroke, I've been taking care of him for about 1 year and 4 months. Today I'm here because what you offer, which is minimum wage, is not enough. I stopped working to dedicate my life completely to taking care of him. And I take care of him more than just the hours that I receive. I take care of him 24 hours a day. I change his diaper, bathe him, feed him. I take him to therapies, doctor's appointments. I prep special foods for him. Thanks to my care, he has improved and the doctors recognize it. Many of us live with the stress of not being able to have enough to live on. Everything's more expensive, and I have children that have to go to school. Our lives change completely due to my husband's condition, but we actually have to learn how to live on the salary that you provide to us. We need a decent payment for the decent work that we do, day by day. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name is Melina Teo, and I am an IHSS provider from Bakersfield, California. I've been a caregiver to a person in my community who lives with Alzheimer's for over 1.5 years now. I make sure my clients have the best care possible, as well as making sure they can live safely in the freedom of their own home. I help provide a clean and well-organized environment for my clients while cooking them meals and paying attention to their needs, providing my clients with transportation to their important appointments revolving their medical treatment. I make sure my clients' needs are met to the best of my abilities. The main reason I got into this field was because I was a caregiver to my mother-in-law. Due to unfortunate circumstances, she passed. But I made her last days filled with love and warmth. Being there for her many hours of the day while spending quality times has shaped the way I am, the way I care for my clients till this day, by making sure every one of my clients gets the support from me, as if they are my own family member. This is why I take the role as a caregiver so seriously. This is why IHSS providers in Kern have a right-based benefits and defined wage for their life savings work. We do every day. Do the right thing. This is your last chance, your chance.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es María Esparza. Estoy aquí porque quiero apoyar a los proveedores, ya que mi hijo aquí, que está al lado, Kevin Esparza, empezó a cuidarme desde los 14 años. Y aquí tengo sus diplomas y reconocimientos por ser un buen estudiante y muy buen proveedor para mí, ya que él me cambia, me viste, me baña, hace la comida, hace el quehacer, lava, es mi chofer, es mi enfermero, mi doctor. Todo lo que yo necesito es mi hijo. Y yo necesito que él tenga un proveedor de cuidado digno, un salario digno, porque no solamente él trabaja las horas que le dan, sino 24 horas al día por mis condiciones médicas. Yo creo que todos los proveedores que están aquí merecen un salario digno, beneficio de salud digno, como ustedes, porque yo creo que ustedes, con el salario que ustedes ganan, se dan el lujo de tener ciertas cosas que ellos no tienen. Y creo que ya es justo que ustedes se pongan en el lugar de ellos. ¿Por qué? Porque yo no creo que ustedes estarían aquí cuidando con ese salario que no ajusta para nada, pasando a veces hambres, porque uno paga excesivamente renta muy alta, vestimenta, biles, todo eso no ajusta. Yo quisiera saber por qué ustedes piensan que ustedes sí deberían de estar bien en sus condiciones de salud privado, de darse todos los lujos que ellos no tienen. ¿Por qué piensan que ustedes sí y ellos no? ¿Por qué no se ponen en el lugar de ellos? Basta, por favor piensen y pónganse en el lugar de ellos, de todo lo que ellos hacen con uno. Él es mi todo, mi proveedor es mi todo, mis piernas, mi espalda, mis manos, todo, por mis condiciones médicas, que tengo una enfermedad no curable de huesos y que él es mi todo. Yo lo único que pido, que ya basta de que jueguen, de que nomás sí, un día no. No, esto no funciona así. Véanlo aquí a él. Él es mi todo. Tiene todo su reconocimiento, más de 10 diplomas de la escuela, de que es un buen estudiante.
Can
Y a
you
pesar
bring
de
your
eso,
comments to a close and then you can translate because she's over time? Thank you.
ya, sería todo. Okay.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Good morning. My name is Maria Esparza. I'm a client of the IHSS program. Kevin Esparza is my son. He started taking care of me when he was 14 years old, and he's a great student. Here you can see all of the recognition that he's received over the years for being a great student, but he's also a great provider to me due to my condition. He gives me a shower, does my laundry, drives me. He's my chauffeur, right? He takes me to the doctor. He does everything for me. I'm here because providers like him need a dignified contract. He works 24 hours a day due to my condition. And they deserve, all the providers here today deserve a higher pay. They deserve a higher pay just like you have a higher pay, right? Why do you think that you can receive a huge high salaries, and most likely you have private insurance? How come you can, and all of us here, all of the providers here today cannot have this?
Sorry about that.
Oh. If all of the board here today would put yourselves in everyone's position here are the providers here today. You guys could not live on the salary that they get paid. Everything is high right now. The bills, right? The rent is high. We cannot have enough to pay our bills. So how come you're okay with your private medical insurance, your high salary, and how come we cannot have the same?
Thank you, ma'am.
So we think that it's enough, and it's right now for you guys to do the right thing.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Idayana Cornelius, spelling Idayana Kornelias. I'm provider from California City. I'm a single mother of 3 children, and 2 of them are special needs kids with autism and mild mental retardation. When they was a kid, I throw myself to work graveyard, so in the afternoon I can see them doing the therapies, IAP, regional center, physical therapies, doctor appointment, take care every single thing. On 2017, my husband got stroke and he has to live in a nursing home, so I'm the only one that take care of them. So 24/7, I take care of my children. I'm bachelor degree in accounting. I deserve getting better benefit, better living, better salary, but I love my children. So I sacrifice them, I bought them, I go to the school, I drive them, I take care everything of them. So I just want a raise for living benefit, enough live. I can get roof for them to stay. I can feed them enough food that they are not hungry in the night. That is my job, my sacrifice. I just begging you guys as a board certificate commissions to give us raise enough for us to live in a difficult situation right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name is Maite Juarez, and I'm an IHSS provider for the county of, for the city of Bakersfield. I've been working as a caregiver for my parents, both of them with Alzheimer's, legally blind, and hearing problems. My mother just passed away. She was for more than 5 years in a wheelchair too. And I stopped working in my regular job that I do have before and did more money to provide my parents and ensure that they have the attention that they really need, the attention that they demand, and give them the best care as much as possible. As an IHSS provider, I have been facing very critical situations, even make arrangements with PG&E and other utilities companies because the money that I make is not enough. I try my best to live with the money that we get. I pay a few bills at the time, on time, because I'm really stressing with the salary that we have. I make sure to stay on top of the medication of my parents, measure their blood pressure, check their vital signs, help them in everything because they cannot do anything by themselves. My mother passed away just 2 years ago, and still I'm struggling, trying to do my best with my parents. They depend from the caregivers because they are really very unable to do anything, even the basic needs to clean their body, do anything that they need to do, bathing them, feeding them, orally, really. My father can't even hold the spoons by himself. I even learned how to do haircuts during the pandemic because I couldn't go nowhere with him. So I had to cut his hair, do the pedicures, anything because we would go, in the house.
Thank you, Ms. Juarez. Appreciate your comments.
Pardon me?
I said, thank you, I appreciate your comments, but your time has expired. I'm going to call the next speaker, okay?
Okay, I'm not complaining to save them, to serve them because they are my parents and I do that by heart.
Sure.
There is two of them. One of my brother helped me to when I had to go
No,
to the
thank you.
market.
Ma'am, I
because-
appreciate your story, but we have to go to the next speaker
Yes,
because your time
and I
expired.
want to just thank you.
Thank you.
We are doing, let me just tell you this.
Thank you.
I'm telling
Thank
you
you.
this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
just want to tell you, please
Okay.
do your best to help us.
Okay, thank you.
It's in your hands.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sandy Moreno. I'm an IHSS provider in California City. Everyone here today that's supporting us, can you please stand up? I've been a caregiver for my grandmother who suffered a stroke for about 3 years now. It was the most difficult time for me and for my grandmother. We take care of the most marginalized in our communities, and yet we still get paid minimum wage. So I'm here today because we have a very important message to all of you. I'm here with my fellow IHSS providers today because it's about time that you begin to take accountability for the people in your community. It's time you stop dropping the ball in those in your community who need most support. You've gone nearly a decade of mismanaging the IHSS program and making IHSS recipients and providers jump through hoops just to receive life-saving care. The IHSS audit states that recipient applications in this county take more than 83 days to approve. That's nearly 3 months that clients who need our care go without it. Altogether, there are over 650,000 hours of care that go unmet annually. And I can bet a large part of those hours happen in cities outside of Bakersfield because you've left our cities in Kern without resources for years. We cannot begin to bridge the gaps in care if you refuse to pay IHSS providers more than a few measly cents. Stop turning your backs on your community and make us real offer with dollars and respect because your scraps are not enough. And the time that we give to our clients, it's time that saves their lives. No, we cannot go like this. Look at this room. And there's 10,000 more in Kern County that need right now. We're demanding that you do the right thing today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Moreno. Next speaker, please.
Before I begin, I would respectfully like to request that all members of the board be off their phones as I am speaking. I would greatly appreciate that. So, hello everybody. My name is Javier Soto, S-O-T-O, and I'm an AHSS provider from Bakersfield. I have been a caregiver for my wife's grandfather living with medical problems such as blood clots for over a year now. IHSS providers like myself choose this work because we love the impact that it makes. Because we love to change lives for the best, whether our client is family or otherwise. But love alone cannot pay for the bills. I am extremely disappointed that you have chosen yet again to flat out deny most of our needs and give us pennies for 10 years of work. You're choosing to abandon our communities, seniors, and people with disabilities who need our care. Your solution to our problem is to leave this job behind, out of sight and out of mind. But I am my client's safety net. And unlike you all, I refuse to abandon who I am supposed to care for. I am my client's safety net, but where is my safety net? Where is the dignity and where is the respect and the care for care providers? The pennies that you offer shows that you are all just playing games with our lives. Meanwhile, you each make $125,000 a year. That is $65 an hour if you are working full time, which you don't. And yet, you all have benefits. We are asking again, and we will continue to ask for you to come to the table with a respectful offer. Dollars, not scraps. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next speaker, please. Come on forward.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and honorable board members. My name is Matthew Maldonado, Director of Field Services for UDW. We represent 170,000 caregivers across the state of California. I spent the last 24 years of my life helping to shape the IHSS program at the federal, state, and county level, trying to stabilize care for our communities, most at risk members from institutional care. People want to live at home. I recall being here 10 years ago in 2013. This happened to be the very last time Kern agreed to give providers a 25-cent wage increase, setting the wages at $9.75. We also agreed to transfer healthcare funds to wages. This added an additional 60 cents. I worked on this with Lito. We used to work together, yet during our most recent round of negotiations, the county has only responded to a single article in wages. It takes more than wages to stabilize the program. As a reminder, the county's share of cost is 17 cents on the dollar. The rest is funded by federal and state. 2 years after your initial cost increase, the state takes over your payment. UDW continues to present a comprehensive package to help address the care crisis in Kern, yet the county continues to close its eyes and hope the problem goes away. Our contract is not complicated. There's no pension, no seniority, no comprehensive health care plans to consider, yet it seems very difficult. The long-term care crisis will only continue with 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 every single day, and many will require care to live at home. UDW, I strongly encourage you today to reconsider your position, to send your negotiator to bargain in good faith and deliver a comprehensive package we can consider. UDW will use whatever tools necessary to try and deliver a safe program for the people who depend on it. And we will not go away. We'll be back again and again until you decide to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next speaker, please come forward.
Mr. Chairman?
Supervisor Couch would like to say something. Go ahead, Supervisor
Mr.
Couch.
Maldonado, would you mind giving your contact information to Mr. Zervis? Right, that guy right there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Chairman Flores, members of the board, staff, my name is Cal Rossi, Government Relations Manager for Southern California Edison. The last time I appeared before you was to give you an update on a couple of issues, one being our efforts, joint efforts to provide electrical service to residences on San Jose Avenue, just west of Delano.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, can we give Mr. Rossi a moment so
we'll give you some time.
he can be heard?
Set the clock.
Sorry.
1, 2.
No worries.
I think it's important, and there's just going to be too much noise right now.
We'll reset it for you, Cal. 1, 2.
I'll try to keep it short.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
As I was saying, Chairman, board, staff, last time I appeared before the board, it was to give you an update on a couple of issues, one being our efforts, joint efforts to electrify residences along San Jose Avenue. I'm here today to report out that on the 16th at 2:30, we did get all the residences along San Jose Avenue up and running. And again, I just wanted to thank Supervisor Couch, Mr. Zervis for their leadership in assisting in making that happen. That's all I had. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Cal, thank you. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. That's fast, and I know they appreciate it. I was at the Delano Christmas Parade, and I saw some of the people there, and they were ecstatic. So I'm really happy that
Well,
you were
I'm
with
hoping 2024 Zervis, Damien, and Rossi, the three amigos, we're not done. We're going to fight hard for you. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Zervis.
Thank you, Chairman Flores. Unfortunately, most of the UDW folks have left. I wanted to take an opportunity to respond to a couple of the comments made for the benefit of your board and for the public. So one of I want to acknowledge that the work that they do is important. We have over 10,800 UDW workers in Kern County. To put that in perspective, we have 8,500 Kern County employees. So it's bigger than our workforce. And these are folks that are out caring for folks in our community in needs, mostly family members, but not exclusively. And you heard some of those stories today, and the work they do is important. But the magnitude of the service they provide, the magnitude of the financial commitment that we're talking about when we're at the bargaining table is important to understand. And the state has structured a very complicated structure here. And I think it's confusing, not only to us that have to work in this environment with the state and try to figure it out, but even UDW workers. I hear from legislators and others that really don't totally understand how IHSS work is structured in the state of California. The first speaker was adamant that they are in fact Kern County employees in reference to a labor code section. That's partially correct. Legally, Kern County, or the public authority over IHSS workers in Kern County, which is represented by your board, is the legal employer of record for bargaining purposes only. So it's an exclusive designation just for bargaining where we're the employer of record. In all other aspects of employment, we are not the employer of record. These IHSS workers are hired. Their work is directed, supervised. They are disciplined, fired, frankly, by the recipient of the services, not by the county. We have no authority to direct the work. We have no authority to hire them or fire them or anything else because they're not our employees. They fill out a W-4 for the state of California. They receive a paycheck with withholdings from the state of California, not from the county of Kern. And if a recipient wants a different provider, it's in their purvey to request that and to make that happen. It's totally outside of the county's control. So in all other aspects outside of collective bargaining, we really simply administer the state's program. Collecting hours and submitting it to the state to process payroll, for example. We're kind of a middleman in that regard. Collecting the necessary documentation to get someone approved as a provider for IHSS. But we don't have any discretion in that process. That is a state program. So it's understandably confusing. Where folks working here in our community, caring for those in our community, think in a lot of respects that they may even think that they are Kern County employees. And that is true only for the sake of collective bargaining. So that's an important distinction, just because that issue has been raised a few times now. It doesn't detract from the work that they do or the important service that they're providing, but it's important to understand our legal role within the IHS delivery of service in Kern County. There was a mention that the state, one speaker mentioned that the state fully reimburses the costs. And then the last gentleman that spoke said only 17 cents on the dollar comes out of Kern County's funds and the rest is state funded. I'm going to speak with that gentleman. That is not typically, that's not typically how it works. There is a 65-35% cost share, so 35% of wage increases above the minimum wage are borne by the county's general fund. So 35 cents on the dollar, not 17 cents on the dollar. 65 is covered by the state up to a certain point. And then it is wholly the burden of the county. So I just give you some facts here in response to what your board has heard. There was a mention that we haven't done anything for nearly a decade. That is unfortunately correct. We've been out of contract, but that is not for lack of effort on our part and your board's part. Your board has made several offers to UDW to provide supplemental wages as recently as last year. Unfortunately, UDW was unagreeable, rejected that offer, and those funds went to pay a penalty as opposed to going to the pocket of UDW workers here in Kern County. So it is not for a lack of effort on our part. We continue to be at the bargaining table. We were at the bargaining table last week with UDW in good faith, working on this issue. We'll be talking with your board in closed session and preparing to go back to talk with UDW tomorrow in hopes to make progress on this issue. But it doesn't mean that nothing has happened over the past 7 years since we've been without contract. Yes, they fall under the state's minimum wage. We in California have an aggressive minimum wage policy. Their wages have risen 52% during that 7-year time frame, 52%. So it is not that nothing has been delivered to those employees. There was a comment made by one speaker that said wage increases have been provided by your board to county employees and to yourselves, to your board. That is incorrect. Your board has taken action to increase wages over the past 3 years to a number, thousands of Kern County employees. And in most cases, similar efforts have been done with IHSS unsuccessfully. But your board has not taken any action to increase your own compensation. Your own compensation, in fact, is established by ordinance, and your board doesn't have discretionary actions over your compensation. So I wanted to clarify those issues. I'm happy to answer any questions or provide further clarification if necessary, but we look forward to continuing discussions with UDW.
Any questions for staff? Okay, well, thank you for that excellent structural overview, all the moving parts, the arrangement, and the accuracy. It's very helpful. All those facts help us, so appreciate that, Jim. Okay, next speaker, please. We're still in a public comment, if any.
Chairman Flores, Board of Supervisors, I present to you a report. I have copies for each supervisor and staff. This is a copy of a website from the Heartland Institute.
Sure. Sir, do you want to state your name for the record?
I'm sorry, excuse me. My name is Tom Pavich. I am the Kern County Coordinator for the Election Integrity Project, PAVICH.
Thank you, sir.
This is from the Heartland Institute, an organization out of Illinois that describes themselves as a free market think tank. And this organization partnered with the Rasmussen group, that's a pollster, a nationwide well-respected pollster, in which 1,085 mail-in voters that voted in the 2020 election. This survey was conducted November 30th through December 6, 2023. There were 33% were Republicans, 36% Democrats, and 31% other. The age distribution was 32% 18 to 39 years old, 46% 40 to 64, and 22% were 65 and older. I will summarize the key points of the survey, and it's quite astonishing. These are some of the things that our organization has claimed, and we have people that complied with this survey and admitted that roughly 1 in 5 mail-in voters in the 2020, excuse me, admitted to committing some form of voter fraud. More specifically, 17% of the mail-in voters admitted that they are no longer a permanent resident of the address that they voted in. 21% admitted that they filled out a ballot for a friend or a family member. 17% admitted that a ballot was filled out for a friend or a family member. 8% of the voters admitted that they received some form of pay or reward for voting in the 2020 election.
Thank you, Mr. Pavich. Would you bring your comments to a close?
Yes.
Thank you.
With that, I would invite any questions or comments.
Thank you, sir. And I'll read that, Rasmussen poll. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for sharing that. Next speaker, please. Okay, seeing none, we will move on in the agenda. That brings us to item number 9 under Behavioral Health and Recovery Services. This is a proposed resolution authorizing deferred implementation of changes to Welfare Institution Code 5008 to January 1, 2026 or earlier for completion of critical infrastructure made necessary by Senate Bill 43, which expanded the definition of grave disability to include additional mental health and substance use disorders. And to lead us in the staff presentation will be our Interim Director, Allison Burrows. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. My name is Allison Burrows. I am the Interim Director for the Behavioral Health Department. I'm joined here this morning by Robin Taylor, who is Deputy Director for the department and oversees our crisis service system. So we are here today to present to the board an overview of changes under Senate Bill 43. We want to provide information about the local planning for implementation and to request a resolution to allow implementation preparations to continue up to January 1st, 2026, while the necessary infrastructure is put in place for these new laws. So Senate Bill 43 is a step forward towards service equity for those with substance use disorders. It addresses the treatment needs of individuals with the most severe mental health and substance use symptoms, including many of the most vulnerable and visible in our community, those who are unsheltered living on the streets. To serve these individuals, counties will need to develop new treatment facilities and treatment types that do not yet exist in California. Senate Bill 43 was signed into law in October 2023. It changes the state's involuntary 5150 process and conservatorship laws under the Lanterman-Pitcher-Short Act. This act guides the process for placing an individual on a hold and requiring treatment based on grave disability standards. Currently, grave disability is defined as a condition in which a person, as a result of a mental health disorder, is unable to provide for his or her basic personal needs for food, clothing, or shelter. Under the new law, grave disability will be defined as a condition in which a person, as a result of a mental health disorder, a severe substance use disorder, or a co-occurring mental health disorder and a severe substance use disorder, is unable to provide for their basic personal needs for food, clothing, shelter, personal safety, or necessary medical care. To highlight the changes, SB 43 expands the criteria to include the basis of a standalone severe substance use disorder. It also redefines grave disability to include the inability to provide for personal safety or necessary medical care due to the mental illness or severe substance use. Based on initial estimates, this new definition will provide the opportunity to expand involuntary services for up to 10 times the number of individuals currently served. Presently, over 800 individuals per month are seen at crisis stabilization units in Kern County. Due to the limited capacity at the Bakersfield unit, individuals on 5150 holds are at times diverted to the Kern Medical Emergency Department. And in the past year, the Bakersfield facility has been on diversion over 100 times. Around 300 individuals are placed on involuntary holds each month based on existing mental health standards, with around 200 of these admitted to psychiatric hospitals. Many more are served at hospital emergency rooms and on medical units. And annually, around 170 individuals are placed on conservatorship in Kern County. These numbers give us valuable information on which to base our capacity needs moving forward. As noted, initial estimates are that we need to be prepared for up to a 10-fold increase in eligible individuals under this new criteria. It's important to note, without the infrastructure in place, these individuals will be taken to hospital emergency departments where they may remain on holds requiring one-to-one observation indefinitely. This will have a significant impact on our emergency departments and members of our community seeking emergency medical care. With a focus on expediting implementation, The Behavioral Health Department has been meeting with county partners, including County Council and Aging and Adult Services, who oversee the county's conservatorship process. We have identified system gaps and are in the process of designing a substance use crisis continuum that we believe will be necessary based on required state guidance. The department is reviewing existing department data and collecting data from community partners to help determine the most accurate anticipated numbers served through these expanded criteria. As previously noted, the facility types required to treat individuals under SB 43 do not exist in California. The state has not yet provided guidance on how these facilities would operate or be funded. Facilities will need to meet standards set forth by the Office of Statewide Health Planning and may require revision to California Health and Safety Code. Building and licensing standards will be critical in determining whether existing facilities can be retrofitted or if new facilities will need to be constructed. And pending state guidance, behavioral health has identified facility types we anticipate may be necessary. Counties may be required a licensed locked receiving center for those with substance use. With mental health crisis units in Kern County serving 800 individuals each month, a new facility must be equipped to serve many times that number, with an additional medical component for those experiencing withdrawal symptoms. A facility such as this may also require a 1-to-4 licensed staffing ratio, including doctors and nurses. Additionally, we anticipate an LPS-designated secure substance use treatment hospital would be required. This may take the form of a locked medical detox facility. This type of facility would again require high staff-to-patient ratio, along with medical equipment for those experiencing acute withdrawal and the capacity to begin medication-assisted treatment. Additionally, locked long-term treatment facilities are often required for individuals on conservatorship as part of step-down treatment prior to discharging to the community. Locked or partially locked residential substance use treatment would also need to be created. To stress again, none of these facility types currently exist anywhere in the state, and we do not yet have guidance from the state regarding how these facilities would be licensed to operate or how services would be paid. Once the state guidance is issued, the department will be moving forward with community partners to develop the facilities. Behavioral health will be working with community treatment providers to expand unlocked treatment facilities as well. Long-term residential treatment will be necessary to provide placement post-hospitalization. Discharging an individual after medical detox without appropriate support can be life-threatening, as the risk of overdose from opioids increases after a period of decreased use. There is no funding provided to counties from the state to implement SB 43. In addition, there is currently no payment mechanism or rates established for reimbursement. Counties will require the structure in place in order to be reimbursed for some of the operational costs associated with these services and to support service expansion. Initial analysis of fiscal impacts indicate the cost for facility infrastructure in Kern County will be over $50 million, with annual operational costs at over $25 million. Behavioral health is currently in the process of further analysis and considering avenues to redirect funding to support the implementation. Further analysis is also underway with legal counsel to help guide the associated legal processes. Preparation will involve recruiting and hiring staff. Staffing resources will be required for general fund county departments, including Aging Adult Services, County Council, and the Public Defender's Office. Staffing will also be required to complete the legal process inside involuntary facilities, including additional patients' rights advocates and hearing officers. A significant portion of the staffing required for implementation will be medical and clinical staff within treatment facilities and in community-based treatment settings. Staffing is a priority for implementation as we continue to face a workforce shortage of psychiatrists, nurses, substance use disorder counselors, and therapists throughout California. The department has begun the process to revise protocols and training for staff who perform functions across the substance use crisis continuum. This includes training for those writing holds based on the new substance use and medical components for grave disability, and those discharging individuals from holds. Counties will require guidance from the state on the new 5150 hold and clinical assessment criteria in order to finalize and issue these new standards. To expedite implementation and meet the facility and treatment requirements, the department will require assistance from community partners. An SB 43 community planning group will be convened to include county partner agencies, local hospitals, managed care plans, the city, law enforcement, and representatives from outlying areas to consider all avenues to expedite and support implementation. SB 43 is an opportunity to provide treatment to those who are the most ill and who do not have the insight into their condition to seek or accept assistance. With the proper infrastructure in place, it has the potential to save lives and to make a significant impact for the unsheltered that many of us see on the streets of Kern County every day. Having personally spent over a decade working in homeless outreach and assisting individuals transitioning from psychiatric hospitals, I understand the frustration of trying to help someone with a severe substance use disorder when the necessary resources are not in place. The Behavioral Health Department is looking forward to working with community partners to implement the changes under SB 43 as soon as possible. SB 43 will go into effect on January 1st, 2024. However, the state has provided the opportunity for counties to extend implementation up to January 1st, 2026. Behavioral Health and Recovery Services is recommending the board pass a resolution to extend implementation of SB 43 in Kern County up to January 1st, 2026, during which time county departments will develop the critical infrastructure required to successfully implement the changes set forth under the law. Therefore, it is recommended that your board approve and adopt this resolution. Thank you, and myself and Robin Taylor are here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Burrows, for that excellent presentation. Any questions or comments from the board to staff before I go to public comment? Okay. I had a few myself. You mentioned the cost, the $50 million startup and the $20 million annually. I don't know if we know at this juncture, but will that be coming from aging and adult and Kern behavioral budget, or is that coming from our general fund? Or we don't know yet?
So at this point, we haven't identified where the funding would come from. We'll be looking definitely internal at the behavioral health budget, but also looking at other avenues as well.
Thank you. And then secondly, you mentioned a tenfold increase. How was that analysis derived? How do we know that?
Yeah, so that information is based on population estimates of the number of individuals that are experiencing a severe mental health disorder, and then the comparison with those that are experiencing substance use disorder. So there's a tenfold number that are experiencing substance use versus mental health.
Thank you. And then lastly, you had your oral presentation had a great number of details in there that I didn't see in the snapshot written. Could I also get a copy of what you presented in totality for the board and for myself?
Certainly.
Okay, thank you. Okay. At this time, I'll open it up to public comment on this item. Now's the time. Please come forward.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Scott Thurgeson, Thygerson. I'm the CEO of the Kern County Hospital Authority, which owns and operates Kern Medical. Kern Medical also operates the only level 2 trauma center in our area, as well as we have a large number of services around inpatient behavioral health services. We're also one of the 2 designated 5150 receiving facilities in our community. We partner very, very closely with Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Services in serving our community, particularly in the areas of behavioral health. We concur fully with the report that was given this morning and also respectfully request the support in, I'll use the term delay, in the implementation of this for up to 2 years. Without having appropriate infrastructure in place, these individuals with the new definition, because of their substance abuse disorders, where they may be trying to self-medicate with the challenges that they have in their lives, will simply be dumped not just in our ER, but in other ERs as well. That will become an unfunded mandate, and the implications will be, frankly, devastating on the rest of the community for our ability to continue to serve our mission as both the trauma center, our inpatient behavioral health services, our support of crisis patients with behavioral health needs. With that, again, I would respectfully request that your board consider voting to delay this implementation for up to 2 years.
Thank you, Mr. Thurgeson. We value your comments as a healthcare leader in our county. It's much appreciated. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, Chairman and Board. My name is Minty Dillon. I'm D-I-L-L-O-N. I'm the CEO for Good Samaritan Hospital. We're one of the local hospitals that the second hospital Scott mentioned that receives 5150 psych holds in our facility. We're actually the only hospital, acute care hospital in Central California that provides medical detox services currently. In 2022, we served 1,300 individuals, provided medical detox services. In 2023, to date through end of November, we've provided 1,700 patients with inpatient medical detox services. In addition, 600 more on our psych unit with dual diagnosis. So we're actually excited about this opportunity in the future. We often are faced with challenges when we're trying to detox individuals who then don't want to stay, but it's not in their best interest to stay. However, we do see all of the challenges that are going to be posed, as mentioned by Director Burrows, in implementing this new regulation. And so we fully support the deferral of this implementation to up to 2026. But at the same time, we also welcome the opportunity to partner with Kern Behavioral Health. We work very closely with them to be part of the solution. We feel like we have the expertise, the resources available to us as the only hospital that's doing medical detox in the whole Central Valley currently, that we feel we can be part of the solution with Kern Behavioral Health Systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dillon. No, you and Good Samaritan are critical to this initiative moving forward, so thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Good morning. Jeremy Oliver, your Director for Aging Adult Services and the Public Guardian, Public Conservator. I'll make my comments really brief. Obviously, it's been about 6 decades since there's been an actual revision to this section of law, and it's much needed. We recognize that there is a need to make changes because we see the people out on the streets that are suffering. This time period, this resolution that you're offering, or this resolution we have in front of you, will afford us the time to really build out services to make it safe. We have an obligation, obviously, to protect people when we actually forcibly remove their rights, and we really need to have those services in place to do so. So we support this from Aging Adult Services for this resolution as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Oliver. Next speaker, please. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm Mohammed Molla, M-O-L-L-A. I'm the Joint Chair for the Psychiatry for the Department of Kern Medical and Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Service. And by training, I am board certified both for general psychiatry and also for child and adolescent psychiatry. Without adding much to what has been said, I wanted to share that I support the intention of the Senate bill, but at this time I would support also the deferment of the implementation because of the details that we have discussed just right now. The reason behind, in addition to what I have shared, that I'm thinking how we're going to care for our patients. So I want to bring it down to our patients' level. And if it is implemented right now, in 2 weeks or so, they will be discharged very soon without proper treatment from the inpatient hospitals, and ultimately to accommodate the others, and which will probably result in immediate decompensation after the discharge. They will lose the provided placement, ultimately probably will be more homelessness. And if that happens, probably the number of substance use related relapse would increase significantly for the current patients we are treating right now. And on the other hand, if the ED and the other places have significantly increased number of patients that's coming through this process, the medically ill patients will probably suffer for the provider-related issues and the space-related issues. On the other hand, the one that we are probably trying to help with, it will not add into their care at all. So given that, ultimately we will be in a place where we will be, there will be more homelessness, I predict, and more destabilized mentally ill patients in the community. So to mitigate this and successfully address this intention of SB 43, I propose to wait till they're ready to implement. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mueller. We value your medical opinion, and thank you for coming. Very valuable.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name is Garth Olango, O-L-A-N-G-O. I am the Medical Director for Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Services. I also function as the Program Director for the Child and Adolescent Psychiatry Fellowship, the UCLA program, and I'm also the Vice Chair for the Department of Psychiatry. I remember not long ago I was here speaking to you about the need for inpatient hospital beds, and we talked about the psychiatric health facilities. And since then, those buildings are being built. Efforts have been on the way to accommodate the need for addressing communities that is in crisis. Currently, we have 20 beds at the Psychiatric Evaluation Center and 4 beds that are minors. Anytime there's an overflow of patients, those patients go to the Kern Medical ED. In the Kern Medical ED, oftentimes we'll have, in addition to medical patients, we have psychiatric patients also being tended to. This creates a huge bottleneck of care. Now, no one who comes is ever turned away. That's not the point. The point is, though, that when were this to be implemented in the 11 days, it would cause a complete bottleneck. All of the physicians basically, and we thank you so much, are actually trained, many of them are actually trained here in our academic programs. So we have psychiatrists in the Psychiatric Evaluation Center, and we've increased that number to accommodate the need. We also have psychiatrists and physicians in the ED. As mentioned by the CEO of Kern Medical, we are dedicated to the community. We really want to help. We really want to support. No one's ever turned away. But I recognize the weight of your responsibility. And I want to thank you for your time and consideration. Delay is not denial. And we just want to be able to prepare because we will not be ready in 11 days. And we fear a catastrophic failure were this to be implemented. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. And despite the state's best intentions, it's so important that we're hearing the practitioners' input and what it means to be out in the community, what the real impacts are. So thank you. Next speaker. Okay, seeing none. Okay, before I bring it back to a vote, I'd just like to say a few things. We're also in receipt of a city resolution about this proclamation, and the action that we're about to take, although it extends the deadline for implementation, that's just a backstop. So we're going to work hard as a county. I want to reassure all our city partners and people in the community that we will work expeditiously, our staff, our community partners, for implementation when it's right for us. It doesn't mean it's going to be at the last minute, but that is a safeguard, and I support that safeguard today, and we're going to do the work that it takes to implement. So thank you for everyone for your presentation, for the community members that came out, particularly in the medical field, and then thank you, staff, for working through another tough state bill. While well-intended, it falls short in terms of the support that's needed, both financially and the roadmap also, which is still being created. So, but thank everyone. And at this time, I'll entertain a motion or other comments. Supervisor Peters.
Thank you, Chairman. I know that our healthcare systems are having some challenges right now. We just saw out at the Ridgecrest Regional Hospital where our labor and delivery department had to close, unfortunately. And I know that there's a lot of other issues happening in healthcare throughout Kern County and the rest of the state. But as California does, this seems like a pretty typical solution. They're handing us the tools to build a parachute and then telling us to jump off a cliff. So I think we need to just take a minute and make sure that we can put that parachute together so we don't end up crashing and burning like we've seen with some of our other state efforts that we've had. So I will go ahead and make a motion that we approve staff's recommendation.
Second.
And second, okay. Please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. Okay, having no more items to consider, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session to consider items under County Administrative Office and County Council.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. We're adjourned.